The German Shepherd is one of the most admired breeds in the world. But behind the loyalty and strength lies a truth few talk about until it's too late. Bred for purpose, precision, and partnership, the German Shepherd was never meant to be ordinary. That perfection, however, comes with hidden costs. Every owner begins with admiration. They end with lessons written in fur, devotion, and heartbreak. The first problem begins with energy, an endless fire trapped in a domestic life. A shepherd's body was built for movement, not confinement. When that energy goes unused, it becomes frustration. And frustration in a dog this intelligent often turns into destruction. Chewed furniture is not rebellion, it's a cry for purpose. This is a breed that needs a mission as much as it needs affection. The second problem is the burden of intelligence. The German Shepherd doesn't simply obey. It questions, evaluates, and remembers. That brilliance makes training powerful but unforgiving. A single mistake, a single harsh command can echo for weeks. They don't forget, they analyze. And in their eyes, you see reflection, not submission. The third problem lies in separation. Loyalty this deep turns absence into pain. A shepherd doesn't just follow you, it becomes part of you. When you leave, it waits, counting minutes like heartbeats. Loneliness manifests as pacing, whining, and shadowing. They aren't being dramatic, they're experiencing loss in real time. Owners often call it clinginess, but it's actually devotion without balance, a love that consumes itself. The fourth problem hides in their joints. Behind the proud stance and athletic frame lies fragile architecture. Hip dysplasia is their silent enemy. It begins unnoticed, a hesitation on the stairs, a skipped step after a long run. By the time pain shows, damage has already whispered for years. It's not weakness, it's the cost of beauty engineered too precisely. Every German Shepherd carries both strength and fragility. Their courage masks their discomfort until it becomes unavoidable. The fifth problem is mental fatigue. A shepherd's mind needs as much work as its body. Without puzzles, scent work, or structure, they unravel. A bored shepherd is a restless thinker with nowhere to place its brilliance. They invent jobs, guarding windows, hurting children, chasing reflections. When you see them overreact, remember, they're trying to stay relevant. Intelligence without guidance becomes anxiety. Purpose without outlet becomes obsession. The sixth problem is protection gone too far. Their loyalty often turns into overvigilance. What starts as a bark of awareness can escalate into defensiveness. They see threats in gestures, not intentions. That protective instinct is why they were trusted by armies and police. But in a family home, it can isolate them from the world they're meant to live in. Proper socialization isn't optional, it's survival for their sanity. Without it, every knock at the door feels like a test of duty. The seventh problem is their shedding, not the hair itself, but what it represents. It's the reminder that living with a shepherd means embracing imperfection. Hair on furniture, clothes, and car seats becomes part of your life. You stop fighting it and start accepting it as proof of companionship. Each strand tells a story. One walk, one nap, one loyal glance. The hair isn't the problem, the expectation of tidiness is. The eighth problem is their emotional transparency. German Shepherds mirror the energy of the home around them. If you're calm, they are grounded. If you're anxious, they absorb it instantly. They read faces the way humans read words. And they react before you even realize what you're feeling. This empathy is beautiful but draining. It makes them sensitive to conflict and sadness. A shepherd raised in chaos becomes a reflection of it. Peace in your life becomes peace in theirs. The ninth problem lies in public perception. People project fear, awe, or stereotypes onto them before knowing them. Some see a hero, others see danger. And the shepherd senses both. This breeds misunderstanding. The gentle ones labeled aggressive, the insecure ones called dominant. Every shepherd walks through judgment before it earns trust. Owners feel it too, the stares, the distance, the assumptions. Owning a shepherd means constantly proving your dog's character to strangers. The 10th and final problem is time itself. Because no matter how much you prepare, you're never ready for how short their journey feels. They arrive as guardians, grow into best friends, and fade as legends. And when they leave, they take a piece of your routine, your security, your silence. It's the price of loving something so loyal it never doubts you, not even once. The German Shepherd doesn't measure life in years, but in shared moments of purpose. Each problem reveals something deeper, not about the dog, but about us. We create expectations they never asked for, and they still try to meet them. They don't fail us. They show us where we've misunderstood devotion. Because to them, loyalty isn't a word, it's breath. When they lean against you, they aren't asking for affection. They're grounding themselves in the one constant they trust, you. This is what makes the breed both extraordinary and fragile. Their heart is too big for the world we've built around them. They're soldiers born into suburbia. Guardians without a battlefield. And yet, they adapt, endlessly patient, endlessly forgiving. They accept our flaws the way we struggle to accept theirs. To live with a German Shepherd is to be reminded of discipline and mercy. They teach both every day in silence. Even their gaze feels instructional, sharp, questioning, kind. It's not affection they seek, but understanding. They want to belong to your purpose, not your possessions. They want to matter. If you listen carefully, they tell you everything through action. Every bark, every pause, every sigh on the floor beside your chair. They are a dialogue in motion, a lesson disguised as loyalty. And when you earn their trust, it's not given lightly. It's sacred, forged in patience and time. The path to understanding begins where judgment ends. Every problem becomes less a flaw and more a mirror once you see it through empathy. Energy, for instance, isn't the enemy. It's a conversation waiting to happen. Give a shepherd structure, and its chaos becomes choreography. Long walks, scent games, and purpose turn restlessness into rhythm. They don't need endless space, they need meaningful motion. A tired shepherd is calm not from exhaustion, but from satisfaction. Movement tells them they're doing what they were born to do. Intelligence, too, becomes a gift when guided with patience. Training a shepherd isn't about dominance, it's about dialogue. They thrive on clarity and fairness. Each command must make sense, not simply demand obedience. When owners learn to explain, not just order, trust deepens. And trust turns commands into connection. Teaching becomes mutual. They teach you presence, you teach them patience. This exchange creates the bond that defines the breed. A shepherd trained with respect becomes unstoppable, not through fear, but through love that understands boundaries. The problem of separation softens when preparation replaces guilt. Conditioning them to independence early isn't cruelty, it's kindness. A confident shepherd learns that solitude isn't abandonment. It's simply the pause between reunions. Leave calm, return calm. They read tone before they read time. Your routine becomes their reassurance. Every goodbye whispered without anxiety builds trust in your return. They stop panicking not because they forget you, but because they believe in you. Joint pain, though cruel, can be met with vigilance. Early screening, good nutrition, and controlled exercise rewrite their future. A healthy shepherd isn't defined by how far it can run, but how balanced its strength becomes. Prevention is quiet heroism, unseen but life-saving. Massage, supplements, and mindful play extend joy far longer than denial ever could. Care is the truest form of companionship. When the hips falter, dignity must never. They'll pretend they're fine. Your job is to notice before they suffer. Mental fatigue dissolves under creative challenge. Give them puzzles, scent trails, and jobs with outcomes. Purpose erases anxiety faster than correction ever will. A shepherd with a task is a shepherd at peace. Rotate their toys, vary their walks, teach them something new every week. Novelty fuels confidence. Stagnation breeds stress. Protection, too, needs re-education. It's not about removing instinct, but reshaping it. Expose them early to people, traffic, sounds, and calm environments. Let them learn that the world isn't always a threat. Every gentle introduction rewires the pattern of suspicion. They guard less out of fear and more out of wisdom. Balance creates bravery. A shepherd who knows peace protects it better than one who knows only tension. Shedding remains inevitable, but perspective changes everything. The hair on your clothes becomes a signature of devotion. Accept it as proof that you're trusted enough to be followed everywhere. A lint roller can't erase companionship. Their emotional transparency becomes your mindfulness coach. They train you to regulate your own energy because they mirror it instantly. Living with a shepherd forces you to lead gently. They respond to your emotional honesty, not your volume. When you calm your own storms, theirs fade too. In healing them, you quietly heal yourself. Public perception shifts when you advocate through example. Every calm walk, every polite encounter becomes silent education. Soon people stop crossing the street. They start asking questions instead. Your dog becomes an ambassador, not an argument. Representation changes fear faster than persuasion ever could. Every shepherd behaving with grace rewrites the stereotype. Time, though unstoppable, can still be honored. Cherish the routine moments before they become memory. Every sunrise walk, every quiet night beside their bed adds weight to a legacy. They measure love in consistency, not grand gestures. When age steals their stride, repay loyalty with patience. Slow down with them. They once slowed down for you. You'll notice their eyes stay young long after their legs don't. That's where gratitude lives, in the gaze that still seeks you first. Grief, when it comes, will feel unbearable. But grief is simply love with nowhere left to go. Each of those 10 problems now feels less like burden, more like blueprint. They show what commitment truly means when words are replaced by care. To own a German Shepherd is to live inside a moral lesson. They expose the difference between control and companionship. Control is temporary, companionship is eternal. The first fades when the leash comes off, the second never does. Their discipline is not about rules, it's about harmony. They perform best when you lead with calm certainty, not force. The strongest command is eye contact. The softest praise lasts the longest. Over time, you'll realize training was never about the dog. It was about your own consistency and patience evolving to meet theirs. Because shepherds don't change owners, owners change for shepherds. They elevate the human who dares to understand them. Even their mistakes carry lessons in humility. Every misstep is a test of your forgiveness, not their loyalty. They never plan revenge. They wait for reassurance. And when they get it, they move forward without hesitation. That kind of forgiveness teaches more than any obedience class. It's the definition of unconditional love with structure. Many call them working dogs, but that title undersells their soul. They don't just work, they participate in your life's rhythm. Whether guarding, guiding, or simply resting near your feet, they are present. Presence, after all, is their true job description. Families change, houses move, careers shift. The shepherd adapts. As long as purpose exists, they remain centered. They thrive in clarity. Ambiguity confuses them faster than noise. Speak less but mean every word. They will understand tone long before vocabulary. Consistency builds peace. Inconsistency builds panic. Their heart listens even when their ears don't. For every challenge, the reward multiplies. Each problem solved deepens the bond that others never experience. By facing the difficulties head-on, you earn a partnership beyond comparison. You move from ownership to kinship. That transition is subtle. It happens in the pauses between commands. When your shepherd chooses to obey out of trust, not fear, the relationship transforms. In that silence, language disappears. What remains is intuition shared between species. It's then you realize that every problem was preparation. Preparation for the day they'd teach you what loyalty really means. You begin to notice their wisdom in ordinary moments. The way they wait for your signal before crossing a street, or glance back on trails as if counting you safe. Their intelligence stops feeling intimidating and starts feeling divine. They think with empathy, act with purpose, and forgive faster than humans can process. That combination is why the world reveres them. And it's why losing one feels like losing an equal. But legacy replaces loss. Every shepherd leaves behind a behavioral echo that shapes the next generation. New owners read stories online about courage, loyalty, heartbreak, and continue the cycle. The breed survives not through genetics alone, but through memory and myth. Their story becomes ours. Their problems, our evolution. And somewhere out there, another pup is born carrying all that history in its heartbeat, waiting for someone patient enough to listen. If that someone is you, remember what these 10 truths taught. Energy needs purpose. Intelligence needs fairness. Loyalty needs balance. Their health needs foresight. Their mind needs work. Their heart needs peace. And time, always, needs gratitude. Do these things and every so-called problem becomes privilege. Because to love a German Shepherd is to earn an education in devotion. When they rest their head beside you, the world outside fades. The sound of their breath becomes proof that trust still exists. And in that quiet, you understand why they were created. Not to serve, but to remind us how to love without words. That's what every owner eventually learns, often too late. But if you're hearing it now, you still have time to do it right. So look at your shepherd a little longer tonight. See not the problems, but the miracle that comes with them. Because every challenge you face together writes a story that deserves to be remembered. And when it's finished, the world will know. A German Shepherd once lived here and was loved well.